Hi, welcome back to Christine's Home Affairs. It's quite a cold, wet and wintry day in Nagambie today, so I'm not leaving the house at all, but I do want to make something really quick because I've got a massive project that I'm editing at the moment. So today's project is going to be a super quick one, and it's also a really good beginner-friendly project. We're going to make a couple of little storage boxes, and they're made with one piece of fabric only. So I'll show you how to make these and work out how to make them in whatever size you like. So we've got a little one here and a much longer one here. Really quick to do and very simple too. All right, we have two pieces of fabric here. We're going to be making two different sized storage boxes. This one here with the butterflies is 11.5 by 15.5 inches or 29 by 39 centimetres. And this green one is 7.5 by 11.5 inches or 19 by 29 centimetres. Doesn't matter what size you use, you'll apply the same technique to any size that you want to make. On the back of each of these pieces, I have some fusible interfacing, and all I'm using is this medium weight iron-on interfacing here. This one's a cotton, and these are both quilting cottons as well. Let's get started. Once you've fused your interfacing to the back of your fabric, fold the fabric in half. So this is the longest point here. You'll see my interfacing doesn't necessarily fit all the way around. I've just used a couple of pieces of scrap that I had. I've clipped the edges together at the top. This is where we're going to be leaving an opening, and I'll leave an opening in here as well. So we just want to sew from the outside in and along here as well. Let's go do that. This is super quick. The needle size I have for this project is a 90 or number 14, and I'm going to be using a 1 centimetre seam allowance or 3/8 of an inch. Back stitch here. Leave an opening of 3 or 4 fingers. Once you've sewn up that top seam, find the centre. We can make a nick in the corner of the fabric and then bring the fold that we have here in line with that nick that we've taken. So we're lining that up with the centre of the fabric. Press your seams open. There's my centre here, and I've got that centre seam lined up along there. I'm going to take this to the iron and press that in place, and for this one I'll do the same. You can mark it with a pin or a pen. It's just as easy to clip the corners. Line up this seam with that little nick we've taken out of the fabric. All right, so we have pressed the fabric with the seams open, and I've also gone and pressed the folded edges into the centre. So all you need to do here is take the fold from the outside and bring that toward the centre, and you can just line it up next to the fold over in the fabric here. Same for this side. It's just like when we make those expandable shoe bags, the folding that we're doing on the sides here. But these are going to be open boxes. Repeat for this one. Bring both edges in. There's no measuring required. Just fold the edges across. And you can go and press that just to set a crease in the fabric. Then once you've done that, we can take this back to the machine, and we're going to sew down both of these short edges on both pieces of fabric. And we've got our little opening just in here and here. Okay, we can just sew straight down. I cannot believe how quick these things are to make. Now that that's been stitched along the side, we can trim the corners. and we'll turn this the right way out. Bring the corners through, poke them out as you go. As you come around, it looks like we've made a huge mistake. When you turn this the right way out, you'll have your opening along here. Bring that out to the side. So try and turn all the fabric out so that you have the opening sitting at the top, just on the side here. And what you're going to have is a little flap on the inside, which is that fold that we made. So we've got that there. Push the seams away and just finger press that nice and flat. Same on this side. And you can push that in, and it looks quite distorted and wonky, but we're going to fix that. Finger press those folds. On the other side, what you'll have is your flat bottom, the same kind of opening on the outside as what you have on the inside here. We're going to take this to the machine and just top stitch all the way around that top edge. Once we've done that, we're going to stabilize the side edges. So we'll do that first. First of all, I'll show you again what we're going to do. Open this out, bring this the right way around. It looks like a really hard thing to try and figure out how to get it the right way out, and it took me a couple of goes. So there's a big jumbled mess here. There's my opening. This is the side that I've folded and stitched. Just take those edges and push them apart. This side as well. Go to the other end and do the same. And it's these edges here that we want facing the inside of the bag. So this fold here needs to fold down inside. And the best way to explain how to do that is if we go back to this piece and we have our center seam across here, flip it over. That center seam lines up along here. That line there and the center seam need to be facing the top. So if you just stick your fingers into the hole here, fold that together, and you can clip the edges together just to help you. On this side here where we've actually got the seam, we will fold those edges together with the edges folded under. The seam will want to sit underneath. With these ends here, all you need to do is push the fabric apart, continue that fold line all the way around, fold that fabric down. It is quite fiddly to do this because there are lots of layers of fabric right on the very end. But if you just push the fabric apart on the end there, this is going to be the inside. Grab that and turn it inside. Same here. If it's not lining up properly, just push the fabric out, flatten it out, and then turn it back around. This is how the bottom looks. It'll look much better once we've sewn it, which we can go and do now. So we'll just top stitch all the way around the top edge. I'm starting on the side that has that little opening there. It gives me a good reference point to start sewing. And I'll do the same for this one. Alright, so the top stitching has been done and it still doesn't look very nice at all, so let's make that look much better. With this one here, I'm going to clip the bottom edge on both sides here. And on this one, I'm going to clip the side edges, starting from where the fold meets the fabric, fold up here. We're going to take both of these to the machine. We're going to sew a very narrow top stitch on all 4 corners for that one. And for this one here, we're going to sew a really narrow top stitch from where this fold meets the fabric to the same on the other end. And that will be the corner at the base of our container. So I'm just starting at the corner here and sew very close to the edge. And then we'll do the same for the other side. With the green one, I'll do the 4 corners. So this little green box is done now because I've just done the sides and I just wanted that to stand up. If you want to, you can go and do exactly the same along the bottom here, like we did on the longer one. And I might leave this one as it is, just so that I can see the difference. On this long one, we've sewn up the bottom edges, but I also want to sew up the sides. So what we've done with the green one, sewing up this side here, we're going to do exactly the same thing here. So I've brought the corner together and I'm just going to sew from the top down to the bottom corner. And I'll do that on all 4 corners. So there we have it, a couple of little storage containers for your pens or clips or cosmetics. Put them in the bathroom, put some really nice soaps in there, and at least they're washable later on as well. So this one here, I've only sewn up the corners and I left the bottom unstitched. And for a small one like this, you really don't need to stitch it. And for this one here, I've sewn up the corners as well as the base, just to square it up a little bit better. It hasn't turned out perfectly rectangle, but that's just because I've rushed it. This is the fold in the fabric that we've got underneath, and you've also got exactly the same fold in the fabric on the inside as well. They're just tucked away nice and neatly, and a great way to store your pens and bits and pieces. It's a nice little quick rainy day project. If you have a particular idea in mind of what size you want in these boxes, the simplest way to work out how big something is going to be is if I take this piece of fabric, for example, whatever this is across, and this is the narrowest width across, you'll halve that measurement and that will give you the length of your box. And whatever you have down here in the length, you'll divide that by 3. And that will give you the distance across here. So the orientation of your boxes will be like this against this piece of fabric, not like that. So I hope that makes sense. So to get this, you double your fabric. To get this, you triple your fabric. And that's just a really rough guide because of course that's going to take in any seam allowances and sewing discrepancies. And there we go, all done. A couple of little storage containers. As I mentioned, they're really quick to make. I think once you've fused your stabilizer onto the fabric, sewing time is only about 3 or 4 minutes, and then you've got the folding time as well. So in an hour, you can have 5 or 6 of these little storage containers made up and sitting all over the house. I'm not making these to sell. I've just made these for myself. I just really wanted to have something very quick to make. I've got a really big project coming up and it's requiring a lot of editing. So I've thought I'd better bring you a quick project so you don't forget I'm still around. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and I shall catch you next time. Bye for now.